Hey everyone, I'm Akuji, and I've got my friend Aresh,
Hey, how you doing?
and welcome to the next free-to-play on...
Vindictus.
That's ridiculous.
It's quite possibly one of the most Korean games you'll ever play.
And it's actually made by Nexon, which is South Korean,
Yeah.
and they probably are most notable for... and I don't even want to say this, but Maple Story.
Maple Story, yeah. Unfortunately.
So if you guys are into that, then it's like the same kind of feel probably. I don't know, because I've never played it.
No.
As soon as I took one look, I was just like, no.
No, Maple Story, you're crazy.
We're not talking about Maple Story.
No,
Let's
I
talk
don't want to
about
talk about Maple Story. There's nothing to talk about.
But yeah, Nexon also did the Japanese version of EVE Online. Like
Yeah,
they distributed it there. There's quite a huge list of games that they've developed and published.
Free to play mostly.
A lot of free-to-play games.
Yeah.
But way too many for us to even mention right now. So there's 4 characters, like I said. First one we'll go over is Evie. She's the spellcaster type character in the game. She also does a bit of the healing. There's a lot of AoE and whatnot as well. But she also has the ability to grab objects in the environment and turn it into little healing things.
And she's a dead fox.
Yeah, she's pretty good looking.
Yeah, I'd say.
So yeah, like she's also able to sort of use part of her life when your party members go down, and sort of put that into them so that you resurrect them. It's not a very efficient resurrect. You can use items that are way better than that.
But still, it works in a pinch.
Yeah, if you can do it, and you can just use a health potion or something after. It's
nice. She's got cool utility. It's fun.
Yeah, she's one of the more like awesome utility characters.
Yeah, I like polymorphing stuff into potions. That's cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting like utility spell.
Yeah.
So
who's this next guy?
Next is Karok.
Oh snap!
He is a beast.
This motherfucker is crazy.
Yeah, he's huge. He uses a pillar as a weapon, and he's actually more focused on grappling in the game.
You think he's overcompensating for something?
Maybe a little.
Okay.
But yeah, he's like one of the only. He's actually the only character that can grapple the more like colossal type opponents, like mini bosses and the bigger bosses. Like he can actually grab them and forcibly push them back or attack them with it. Anybody else would instantly get trampled.
Yeah, if like a massive beast comes at you, like this guy actually has like really cool animations where he can grab the beast by its fangs and like hold it at bay for a moment. It's really amazing and impressive to see.
So like a lot of the concepts around playing his character is like literally throwing the pillar at something, running up and grappling it, punching it a couple times, and doing some kind of crazy combo finisher.
It feels like you're playing fucking Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really does.
It's crazy. The next is Fiona.
That was my main character when I played this game, and she's really, really fun. Just a straight up tank, sword and board, down to the wire. And she really tanks amazing. Like it's really fun in multiplayer games. And her main feature is her riposte. You know, you can parry. So basically, if you time it right, you parry their attack with your shield. You block it, and you can stun them and speed up your attacks. It's a lot of cool chains and stuff that you can put together.
Yeah, she's the only one that can actually use a shield.
Yeah.
So like it's used primarily for counterattacking, like very like
and
quick timing, blocking the attack, making them stun for a quick second that allows you to do a counterattack. But also other things is the more you attack in succession, her attack range gets bigger.
Yeah.
So it's easier to aggro things and to keep everything focused on you.
She just has the best tank skills you could hope for.
Also a huge smash attack, which just does substantial damage.
Yeah, she hits hard.
And so the last class is Lan, which is basically just in your face, really fast action, 2 swords or 2 spears.
He's like a fury warrior.
Yeah, he's just crazy. And like get a little bit into the game mechanics as we go on, but it's just really, really fast paced. And for me, that's the character I primarily played with. I tried a couple of them, but you run out of stamina a hell of a lot.
He's a killer.
Like, but he does a shit ton of damage, and he instead of like just dashing out of the way, and then some of the skills that you can get are just like double dashing or like doing some crazy ass combo. So like,
That's what I mean. You can get some really impressive combos.
yeah, for sure. So here we actually see the die, like dyeing your equipment screen, but it also is the only place where you can sort of change your facial expressions. And
Look at that smile.
yeah, look at that. I'm so pissed there. But yeah, and then the other expressions are actually your stance. But the one thing to note when you're trying to dye something is that like you have to spend a certain amount of your gold to do it. But the color that you get is entirely random every single time.
RNG.
So I end up getting like this shitty red one.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see here that like you only get 2 tries.
You
for
get
one
a
amount.
free retry.
Yeah, no 2 free retries.
Is it 2? Yeah. Okay.
And they give you a timer.
Oh,
But I got red and I kind of panicked. It's just like, okay, if I got brown, I'm gonna keep it like close enough to my gear. Yeah. But yeah, like it's always random. You end up getting some weird ass colors sometimes, and it's just luck based.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of fuchsia.
Yeah. Like the only other way of doing it is going to the auction house and finding stuff that's already pre-dyed, and it's usually a little bit more expensive depending on how much they actually put into getting that color.
Sometimes it can take a while and a lot of money.
So here is actually the skill tree, and you can see they give kind of like a demo of the skill-based moves that you can pick out, and even the button combination. And I guess it's a good time to really talk about how the game really works. Like it's not like you press 1 to 6 or something. It's a combination of left and right clicks, and spacebar for dashing, holding shift for running, and E for grappling.
And there's block as well.
Well,
if you have
is there a certain button for that?
Yeah. You bind that to it's bound to C or something, I believe it was.
Oh, okay.
So it adds another dynamic to it. So you have all your combos, and you get them differently, right? Either through just like you said, left mouse button, right mouse button.
Yeah.
You can level them up in ranks, from F all the way up to A.
Yeah. So you can see here that every time you level up, you get a little bit of AP, and you spend that AP to rank up the abilities. So I was working on my twin sword mastery because I didn't want to use the spears.
It's a good passive.
And just wanted to get my damage up. But there's not just like different combos. There's also boosting your main stats if you choose to spend your AP on that. But sometimes you need to be a certain level or spend gold on it as well as AP. So it's just way later on in the game, but you can still do your main stats all individually. Yeah. Up to a certain point.
But you won't be able to. You have to have a specific build. Like you can't get every skill.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
not at all.
Yeah.
So here I'm actually showing you one of the shops that's in the city. It's pretty much the only place that you actually go to. It's like the one main hub of the game. And so this is more of the heavy armor type stuff. And you can see that you don't really the gear screen in the inventory, and
your bags are full.
My bags are constantly full.
Okay.
I never really changed that. It's like all the gifts they end up sending you. Like I wasn't on for quite a while, and then when I recorded, they're just like, here, have 12 gifts.
Wow.
It was kind of nuts.
Thanks for playing.
Yeah, basically. So here I actually have to use enhancement stones to I'm trying to level up my boots, but it actually gives you a warning in red and another warning that past level 3 you have a chance of it failing and it actually reducing it by 1. And you've just spent a ton of gold and enhancement stones, which is kind of annoying. So
you just regressed.
+2 to +3, fine. +3 to +4, pain in the ass. Higher than that, I think there's even a bigger chance that you fail.
I was going to +6s on mine, and it was so hard.
I'd hate for it to fail. And the amount of money.
There's a lot.
So here is actually the other main vendor for your equipment, and it's for more the leatherworking stuff and whatnot. There's the other shop, which is where you go for your dyes. That's for the cloth. So for your mage.
You can get sets going too, right?
Yeah, everything has sets. I think I'm wearing the entire Savage Leather set on my character as it stands.
And it gives you specific bonuses, right?
Yeah. So this is actually just outside of town, which is the docks area, and nearby there's a campfire, which actually has some benefit to sitting there if you're gonna go AFK for a little while.
Well, the benefit is you look cool.
Well, you look badass. Like the guy in the white and like the white armor with the red like detail. That's actually my character in higher level stuff. So like, and he dyed all of that purposely to those colors. Like, he looks sick.
He has his mane, his red mane, and his white plate mail, silver plate mail.
It's so kick-ass. But essentially, like the idea of actually really sitting down on these rocks is that once you're sitting at it for enough time, it gives you a buff.
Mm-hmm.
And then for this one, it actually lasts 30 minutes, and I think it was it's for level 1 wisdom increased by 10 for 30 minutes. So it's not too bad. But I actually think that if you sit there for long enough, it'll start to stack up different types of buffs. So we see here, actually really close by to where the campfire is the main board to find missions to do. And you can see that it's normal, hard, or hero mode, and you can have up to 4 people. But the interesting part about the way they do it is that you have to pick pretty much a oath of honor. That's what they call it. And it gives, if you are able to complete it while doing the dungeon, then it gives you bonus experience at the end.
Yeah. It's like an achievement.
Yeah. And then there's also bonus missions for each one. So if you end up finding a certain amount of things, or if you defeat 7 monsters by kicking them, or whatever else, like
finish the zone in 6 minutes.
Yeah, you get a bunch of gold.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes beneficial if you're a little over leveled or something, and you know you can do it, just adding it on to get the bonus.
Oh, for sure. Ideally, you want to try and get all the bonuses.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you progress to the harder places before having gotten everything you can out of these zones, you're gonna hurt.
So yeah, once you start the mission though, you actually get onto the boat and it brings you to the location. So you have to, like for me, I decided to get a couple of random people on just because I couldn't do it with a rush at the time. But essentially, like, we went in for probably, like, I definitely wanted to be in here, but it's like the bosses in this game and the environment itself, and also just the interaction with your teammates. I thought this was an appropriate area to do it with.
No, I enjoyed this. I mean, we played this game for a few weeks together. It was
almost a month actually.
Yeah, it was.
And it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, but
I just hold on a second.
Here we go.
Like these are usually the cinematic intros for bosses that are in the area. And the guy in my team actually told me to press escape to skip this, but I needed to show you this because I thought it was kind of a part of this game and the feeling that you get. Holy shit.
It's a feral druid.
Bites the shit out of that goblin and throws him across.
Better run, B.
He actually, like, I think he did 1 point of damage by roaring at me. Which is ridiculous.
Hit you in the face with some spittle.
This thing is massive, and I'm telling you now, I did die a couple of times. Oh. But it was really just because we didn't have a tank. We didn't have that huge motherfucker to not just get in its face and pummel it to death.
Yeah, you guys are just getting ripped up right here.
Yeah, like, it's a tough fight, even on normal difficulty, but it's a fun fight, and this is, like, I felt, like, generally concerned for my well-being when this thing, like, I had really low stamina at that point.
Yeah.
But, like, it's just you fear for your life when you see this thing, like, jump out of the huge icicles and...
Too bad you don't have spears.
Yeah.
You know, that would be handy.
You had to bring that up.
Yeah.
So yeah, you actually get to equip a certain amount of items during your dungeon. So you just like re-equip it in your downtime when you're in the city. And I think I've got some the reviving feathers. I can't remember what they're called. Also have some repair kits, and the last one I have up there in the top left is an attack boost potion. Cool. But you can actually get bombs and you can get spears, and they all have like specific purposes. The bombs are actually, if you see these gem deposits, if you very carefully put a bomb near it, which is not easy sometimes, they end up rolling depending on the environment.
Yeah.
It explodes and ends up giving you a bunch of extra items.
Going mining.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. But the actual purpose to the spear, and I'm pretty sure, just got smashed.
It's a smoke show.
So yeah, you're actually seeing the spellcaster revive me and taking a bit from her. But I had way too low of health, and I didn't have any health pots either, so I just start running around trying to destroy stuff.
Back on your feet,
which sometimes ends up giving you these health crystal things that you can pick up and restores health. But I think I just kept finding gold, and I found that one crystal, and I ran right for it. But I'm still really low health, and I'm pretty sure that I get hit once and I'm screwed. But basically, the only way that we're getting anywhere in this is that one of my team members was smart enough to actually get spears before we started this, and kept like getting him right in the face. Oh, so close to getting hit. That was so close. Oh, I thought he was gonna spin on me there.
So you can see that.
Smashed.
Wow.
So yeah, it's definitely not easy if you don't have the well-balanced team. Like, it does take a little bit of strategy, and it really helps to have one of those big guys to soak up the damage and like make sure that he's not paying attention to you. Really, I'm speared in the face.
You'd hope so.
But I think this is pretty much it for the boss fight. So you can see, like, this is only one of the bosses. There was a ton of them.
They're fun. And like, is this hero mode?
No. This is just normal. Like, hero mode is intense.
It is. It's really cool.
Like, I've played a game where, like, it was hard. Like, it wasn't just like easy mode all the way fucking through, and then it gets difficult. Like, and it doesn't even really get difficult. It just ups their health a bit and makes them do more damage to you, kind of thing.
Okay, well,
so
that was the polar bear boss.
He was crazy. So I mean, what's your final thoughts
on the game in general, or the boss fights?
I mean, absolutely everything. Well, like, your experience in general with the game.
I thought all the boss fights were just really fun. Like, for example, this one right here is really cool. You're fighting these 3 goblin brothers, and each of them has a different ability. One guy's got the sling. The other one's got his double axe.
Actually, these 3 are the biggest pain in the ass ever. The 3 missions before this one is them being the bosses individually.
Yeah.
And then the 4th one is them all together. It's okay with a party.
They disappear at the last second every time you fight them, and now you actually get to finish the job.
But yeah, I'm trying to do this solo, right?
It's hard. It's hard to do
It is
solo.
really tough. Like, this fight goes on forever.
It's got to hit and run.
And I'm pretty sure we're not even going to see the whole clip, like, until we're done. I mean, like, just... Like, we didn't really get to see the other characters, so from your perspective, how was
tanking?
The tanking?
It was really good. It was pretty intuitive, although, I mean, you kind of had to have some understanding of aggro, so you basically wanted to get a couple of AoE skills to be able to tank effectively. I saw plenty of people who just didn't know how to do it. They had a tough time with it, but tanking was done really well. They let you tank with basically any combination of skills there, as long as there's some AoE thrown in. Other than that, I haven't played any of the other characters, but hero mode? It was good. It was really, really hard.
Hero mode is intense.
Yeah.
And I mean, even, like, this is one of the lower level missions for me, technically. Yeah. When I did it again. And, like, I'm still having a fucking bitch of a time.
It's a fair challenge the whole way through.
Yeah, so, like, you have to be decently geared, you have to have a good team, and hero mode is actually extremely intense.
It's really intense. All the boss fights are really fun. The mechanics are really inventive and different.
Yeah. And
the combat feels really satisfying and fast-paced. And there's a skill cap here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you have to know when to do the right abilities. Like, because it's a combination of buttons, and then, like, for LAN specifically, like, left click is your main attack and right click is, like, your finisher. So depending on how many left clicks you've done first before hitting your right click, he has a different finisher.
Yeah.
And they're all situational. Like, there's one that he, like, forces forward. There's one where he, like, does this, like, sort of sort of really
Diagonal.
yeah, that's the word I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Like a diagonal blade that sort of hits just maybe like the two guys in front of him, where there's another one where he pretty much spins.
Yeah.
And then the final one is that he just makes like a huge slash, like.
Well, there's all kinds of like
So
really great abilities.
and the fact that it's all stamina based and you also have dodging in there and like using your sidestep and your dashing and your abilities are all on your stamina for this character.
Yeah.
So if you don't leave yourself enough stamina and enough time after you've done your move animation, then you just don't have enough time to dodge, or you don't have enough stamina and you just end up like sort of standing there panting for a second because you've run out. So like you have to really pay attention to your stamina. Like I'm running around like a fool and I'm still really low. So
It's like that for all the characters. You have to watch your resource and really manage it. You can't just spam away all day and expect to survive when you have to do something defensive.
Like I'm so close to dying. I'm 59 health. I'm just running around for health things.
If you break all these, hopefully there's some health in there.
Yeah, I just got one. See, there's one
There's
of
a
those
big jar,
gem
yeah,
things.
if you get
well,
that.
There's the jar, but actually
Tons
you
of
saw
health
some
in
of the gems there. That's where you would use the bombs. I just got a ton of them, but spawned some new monsters.
Oh shoot, there's a trap.
It's a trap. But they dropped a bunch of health things, and it was actually not too bad. They kind of stayed in that corner, and I ran away to heal up.
The cool thing about Fiona was that I could really like just get into melee and just smash people with the shield and take not very much damage as long as my timing was good with the blocks. With this character, it looks like you have to dodge after every 2 or 3 attacks.
If I don't have either your character or the tank, like the big guy with the pillar,
yeah,
like if you don't have them soaking up the damage and the aggro,
it's tough.
I'm pretty much getting messed up, so like really
This
hard
is
all the
repairing
time.
his gear in combat.
Like I'm constantly repairing my gear because I'm getting hit so hard and they just destroy everything. But I mean, if they didn't glitch right there and got stuck behind, like they didn't realize I was standing there or like something wrong with it, they would have just rushed me while I was repairing. So like, I don't know, like it was just a lot of luck and me finding those health crystals and like, I mean, if I had the spellcaster in here, then she could just turn one of the items into health things and it would have been fine.
That'd be nice.
But yeah, soloing this is not always an option. That's one thing. I really
for some characters, especially the straight up DPS characters, it might be harder. But you can still do it.
Yeah, it's totally possible as I'm showing you. Like I didn't die from this.
Yeah.
Like I do end up winning.
Spoiler alert.
But yeah, like apart from that, like I really do like this game.
I enjoyed it too.
I really did enjoy it.
But I didn't keep playing it.
There's a big reason for me why I didn't continue playing it, even though I really like everything about it, and it's the fact that it got extremely grindy.
Massive grind.
Like, at a certain point, like at first you don't really notice it as much, but because it's all instance based and you pick the dungeon that you want to go to, there's a certain amount of objectives that you have to do, but you still have main quests that you get from people in town. And when you get these quests, they pretty much tell you that you need to do something in a certain dungeon a bunch of times. And you only get to do it once per time you go in the dungeon.
You end up redoing it like 15 times.
Like sometimes you end, yeah, and if you have a group of people, then you're all kind of like trying to get it for yourself, and it's just annoying as shit.
Yeah.
And especially when you get in the later matches, when they start getting longer and a lot harder, and you like finish the mission, and they're like, "Go back in." It's just like, no, fuck you, I'm done.
It's like, yeah, that.
Like I'm gonna go chill by the fire, and
really?
not give a shit about anything you just told
AFK
me.
for a bit. I know it's too intense for too long. That's the problem. It's like amazing for the first 15-20 levels, and then you're just kind of like, how long can this continue where I have to like fight for my life constantly? It's cool, but it's just a long grind, and I think maybe it should have been a level cap a little bit, you know, lower to the stratosphere.
I don't know. I like, as far as I'm concerned, my opinion is the harder it is, the fact that it's killing me, and the fact that I have to run around to make sure that I stay the fuck alive, like this is challenging. Like this is why I play video games. I don't do it just to mindlessly like press one button all the fucking time. Like I like playing games. I like to be immersed in them, and this game did it for me. It's just the way they presented the quest lines and stuff.
Well, it's just doing it again.
Constantly doing it over and over. It's very, like, I guess traditional of Asian MMOs or any kind of game where it's RPG in style. It's just extremely grindy.
Get to work,
basically. So I mean, it's a lot of fun for a little while, but overall, I don't think I like. Even just picking it up again a couple months after to record this was a hell of a lot of fun. Like just getting into it and doing a couple of the ones that I thought would be awesome, and yeah,
it
like,
kind of makes me want to play again too.
I think it's just one of those games I'm gonna keep on my computer and like just every once in a while. It's just sort of like how Blacklight turned out for us.
Yeah, Blacklight's
like,
great.
It's such a fun game. It's just like, oh, Diablo 3 is not working or whatever. I'm gonna go play a round or two Blacklight.
For sure.
Like it always ends up happening. I don't end up playing League of Legends very much. Like
too bad.
Like, but if it wasn't for that, yeah,
Oh,
it's crazy.
Looks like you won this event. The three brothers are dead. So you did it. So you see that how like crazy hard that was?
Like
that was normal.
That took several minutes of just grinding the shit out of like repairing my stuff, making sure that I can find health crystals in time. Like I was really close to dying at one point.
That was an intense, cool fight. And the problem is that in order to progress later, you have to do that 15 times in a row, and it's just asking a bit too much from anyone.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I hope you enjoyed the video.
I did, yeah, it was pretty good.
It's a plastic frick.
Yeah, I liked it.
But yeah, either way, I hope you guys enjoyed and thought that was informative and entertaining in some fashion or another. And there'll be another free-to-play next week. Not sure what it's going to be on though.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't thought about it.
Or Battles.
World of Battles.
World of Battles.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's do World of Battles.
I think that one's good. There's still a couple other ones that I found out, but I mean, I think yeah, we're choosing this right now. World of Battles next week.
Okay, all right, that's the deal. I'll do World of Battles.
Alright, cool.
Show you my undead army.
And I actually chose Orc. But you'll get to see it in the next video. So until next time, guys, see you around.